Come back at 6, wake me and your child, and then won't lay today. Make me wonder who you might have been playing with. Makes me wonder who you think.
Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I am Damilola and I'm glad you clicked on this video. 2 weeks ago, I posted on my Instagram for you guys to ask me questions, and today I'm back with answers. Let's get into it. Let's get a little cozy in this living room because it's a little cold. Let's get comfortable. I do have all the questions on my iPad, so if you guys see me looking down on this iPad, just know I'm reading the question. The first question says, what is something people always assume about me that is not true? A lot of people assume that I am super confident and I am someone who always have everything figured out, and that is not exactly true. I've had to learn confidence through uncomfortable situations. I grew up being a very shy, quiet girl. I am that girl in the classroom that don't really voice her opinion because I always think nobody really want to hear what I have to say, or nobody cares to hear what I have to say. I would just be quiet all the time, and that followed me through high school and college. One thing that really changed that situation for me was joining the military, especially when I picked up sergeant. You're responsible for other soldiers. You're not just responsible for yourself anymore. You have to report to people that outrank you, and they just don't want your reports. They want to know your ideas. They want to know what you think. That really forced me to be confident, in making decisions and putting together plans of what the daily operation is going to be like. I had to rely on my own thoughts and my own ideas because it's literally people that outrank me that are relying on what I think. Getting questions like, Sergeant Ajani, what do you think about this? Just the process of making that decision and putting it into action. Confidence is something I had to really build. Moving on to the next question. What's been the hardest part of moving to a new city by yourself? I have touched on this topic in a previous video. Hardest part of me moving to a new city would be loneliness. Having to build your community all over again from scratch, moving all the way to a place where you don't have no friends, you don't have nobody. You're starting all over again. The loneliness of just not having your people with you, like your community with you, is just, it sucks. What was a moment recently where I had to choose myself? I like this question. Choosing myself to me means walking away from situations that no longer serve me, giving more than I am receiving. And that applies to family, relationships, friendship, anything shape, okay? I'm walking away. The older I get, the more I value myself and my peace of mind. And I realized that choosing myself isn't, sorry about that. I have realized that choosing myself isn't selfish, it's necessary. What do people get completely wrong about being in the army? I'm glad somebody asked this question because there's a lot of misconceptions about joining the army or being in the military in general. People always think everybody in the army goes to war, anybody in the military goes to war, and that's not true. The army itself as a branch, I have over 100 jobs that you can choose from. I'm not sure about other branches. Yes, our number one job is to defend the country, but we are not all going to war to go fight war. There are supply jobs, there are technical jobs, mechanical jobs, a lot of jobs that has nothing to do with war at all that you can pick from. So let's stop with that misconception that everybody in the army or everybody in the military goes to war. We don't. Please and thank you. Moving on to the next question. What's the biggest red flag I ignored in my last relationship? Okay, nobody is going to judge me. Only God can judge me, okay? Nobody can judge. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. The biggest red flag I ignored in my last relationship was inconsistency. I believe the words more than the action. That's a huge red flag that I chose to ignore just because I was in love. I was in the Lulu Island. And now I know consistency is clarity. So, yeah. What is my toxic trait if I'm being real? If overthinking was a crime, I would be in jail right now. I tend to overthink and overanalyze situations, especially if it's something I'm so passionate about or something I care about. Another toxic trait I would say is I expect people to read my mind. And I didn't realize how much I do that a lot, just expecting somebody to read my mind. I'm working on that currently because I just can't expect people to know what I'm thinking or how I'm feeling without voicing out how I am actually feeling. That's something I've been working on. I had different people telling me the same thing, and that's when I realized, yeah, that's my toxic trait. But we're working on that. That's what matters. We're working on it. What's something small that instantly ruins my mood? Is people being dirty. I don't mean like messy a little bit because I can be a little messy myself, but just being dirty, not being considerate of other people, that grinds my gear. 2026, why you still dirty? Like we're all grown. Please clean up after yourself. Not taking a shower because why you stink? Why do you stink? Why do you stink? But yeah, moving on to the next question. What is something I am healing from but don't talk about much? I'm healing from giving too much of myself to people. I have come to realize not everybody who have access to me deserves it. That is something I'm healing from, and just learning don't give people too much access to you, especially something that is not meant to last. Boundaries, boundaries, you know. What would I tell my younger self before joining the army or moving away? Stay away from the military, man. Okay, I'm joking. I can remember me sitting in the room trying to think, is this the right decision? I wish I could just go back and just see that and be like, Dammy, this is the right decision. You're making the right decision. You're making the right decision. I can remember having so much doubt. 4 years later, look at me, thriving, doing good. And I'm just so proud of myself. The number one, the best decision I've made in my life, because without the military, I would not be where I am today, and that's a fact. So if I can go back, I'll just, it's okay, Dami. It's okay, little 18 years old Dami, because the 23 years old Dami is so grateful. She's so thankful that you are even confident enough, strong enough to even consider being in the military. Being in the military is not something a regular person would just sit here and be, that's what I want to do. That's something you have to be strong, confident, determined to do. And I did that at 18, and the 23 years old me now is just so thankful and just so happy that's something I did. I wish I can go back and give her a hug. Who am I becoming in this next season of my life? I am becoming more intentional, more grounded, someone who chooses peace, alignment, growth over anything, over proving anything to anyone. Someone who stands firm on our boundaries. I am becoming her, okay? If any of these answers resonated with you, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you stayed to the point of this video, you are a real one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you can get a notification every single time I post. And I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.